Hey, Bubba Bubba, you are foist. You are foist. Foyst. We should run a test pattern, you know? Stay tuned for news and views with Dave Hughes coming next on the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. And in French Canada, we'll be on TVF. You go, Davy baby. Hey, Mikey, how are you? Everybody, it's don't know how many people we're going to get today since it's a holiday here in the United States of America. It's the 4th of July. Oh, yeah, everybody's getting ready to go out see the fireworks tonight. So, so anyway, it's kind of quiet actually here in the suburbs of DC. I think a lot of people are out at the beach. They're out doing things. They're down on the mall. You know, they have it's a huge huge fireworks exhibition down on the mall on the 4th of July here in DC. And a lot of people go to that, and it's a all day kind of thing. You take your picnic. You don't have any glass bottles. Don't take any umbrellas. I think umbrellas are banned because they can be used as jousting tools. You can, don't, no glass bottles, no alcohol, no umbrellas, no firearms, no illegal substances. And have a good time and enjoy the crowds and more crowds. And we're not supposed to get any rain today. It's a nice day. It's not quite as miserably hot as yesterday, but it's 90-ish, it's 91, 92. It's not 98 or 99. For all you Canadians, I have to translate that into to Celsius. 100, what is that? 37, 34? I don't know, something like that. I still like Fahrenheit better because it sounds more hot. It's gonna be 99 today, 102. Than saying something like, "Oh, it's gonna be 36 today." 36. Hey, D-Dub. D-Dub. Hi, Long Duck Dong. Hi, Janice. How are you? So anyway, we're doing I'm trying to set a pattern here. I'm doing 2 scheduled live streams every week. Okay, this is called News and Views with Dave Hughes, Wednesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's on my Dave Hughes channel. Okay, so there's the address if you want to subscribe. You're probably already subbed if you're watching this. Not bad, very good, very good. And anyway, it's a Camo Bubbles production in association with Doxinator Industries LLC. Oh, my Doxinator said don't you dare start it early. And I did, just to spite him. I started it a couple minutes early. I knew he was gonna flip his wig. So anyway, I got the remember this thing, the Time Chaser banner? I don't know, man. Got that out of storage. So there I is. And there's Crotchy over there kind of sleeping with his eyes open. And so we're going to talk about a whole bunch of cool things today as soon as we get a little bit of a crowd here. Carolina Tony, how are you? Please. Yeah, I'm not only sticker I'm going to show is this one, the Camo Club sticker. If you want your sticker self-addressed stamped envelope to my address, 6200 Rolling Road, number 2442, Springfield, VA 22152. The address is all on my web. Almost every video I have, if you go down and look at the description, you'll see my address there. It's very easy to find. Send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. And if you want to throw in a couple of measly dollar bills, that's cool too. Make sure they're nice and clean, though. I don't like grubby old dollar bills. Ugh. I don't know what it is lately. Every time I get change for, change, I always get, they always give you the change and the pennies look like they've got, I don't know what it is. Have you ever gotten really icky looking coins, especially pennies? I mean, they'll have like, it looks like toxic waste on them, green glop or something. And I'm like, I don't want to touch those. I've sometimes done that. They give me the pennies and I just kind of drop them on the floor. It's like, I don't even be bothered with pennies. Leave for Myrtle Beach Sunday. Are you coming? Wow. Wow. That sounds like a lot of fun, Carolina Tony. How long are you going to be there? No begging on a holiday. So what else is up? Let's see. Got some interesting news today. Just I was driving around doing my lunch this afternoon. Came on some real interesting stuff, by the way. See if I can get. Let's see if I can line this thing up so I can read the comments and check out the chat at the same time here. Check out the chat. And did you know now? Did you know that more people now are watching Netflix than any other type of television? Did you know that? According to a new study here that was publicized just today, 27.2% of Americans watch Netflix. Okay. Only 20.4% have basic cable, and only 18.1% watch broadcast television. YouTube accounts for about 11.4%, Hulu 5.3%, Amazon Prime 4.7%, premium cable, I guess that's HBO, Showtime, Stars 4.6%, and other 8.3%. I guess other, I don't know what other is. I guess it's other services like Sling and stuff. I don't know. But it's interesting now how Netflix alone has more viewers than broadcast television, which is kind of interesting. And YouTube is only 11. I have predicted, my prediction is 2025, you will not have any more broadcast television. Okay. By that, I mean, you won't be able to put up an antenna and get signals. I think by 2025, that'll be gone. That by 2025, you will have to, you can still get, there will still be local television. I think there will always be a market for local news and stuff. But, there'll be local shows and local television and ABC and NBC and CBS. There will still be major networks like that with local programming mixed in, especially news. But I think that that'll all be online or via your cell. I think even online Wi-Fi stuff is kind of going to get pushed away with these really fast cell services. I think by 2025, I think most everybody will just be getting everything on their via some sort of a cell service. And the old days of putting up an antenna and watching television broadcast to you, I think is just a couple years away. It's going to be gone. So, and that means free television. Everything you'll have to pay for in one form or another. I think in one form or another, and it's already there. You're already pretty much there. Never mind. Okay, what did Bubba say something here? In other words, no fun. Do I need rabbit ears antenna on my computer to pick up your show? Bitty, bitty, bitty. No. Yeah, the old rabbit ears. Bitty, bitty. I miss those days, though. I kind of miss them. Did I miss something? What is this? Long Duck Dong. This is my weekly the news and views with Dave Hughes. Okay, this is the show. I'm not talking about the bottom of YouTube on this show. This show is on my Dave Hughes channel where I do all my other stuff. Okay, we're talking about news and views. Okay, I like to talk about like media stuff, social media, some politics. I'll mix some of that in, and yeah, So we talk. I'm just kind of looking through I got some papers here today. I pulled out of the recycle bin at Starbucks, and Harvey Weinstein indicted on new charges. Disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein faces additional counts of sexual assault that could carry a potential life sentence if he is convicted. A Manhattan grand jury voted to charge Weinstein with 2 counts of predatory assault, which carry a minimum 10-year sentence, and an additional count of criminal sexual act in the first degree, stemming from what prosecutors said was a forcible sexual act against a woman in 2008. So I would have to say that, oh, thank you so much. Ooh, you got $10. Who's that from? Mikey. Thank you, Mikey. You're very generous. You're always very generous. I appreciate it. But the big news there, according to the newsy paper, is Harvey Weinstein is in a S load of trouble. Okay, he's going to be spending probably the rest of his life either defending charges in court, especially a bunch of things in New York, and he could go to jail. He could, he very well could. It's going to not be a pleasant couple of years for him, that's for sure. Mm. Buy some Hawaiian shirts. uh, Buy yourself some fireworks or a burger. I think I'll do the burger. Okay. Oh, see, they had something on. They were talking about on the news. Apparently, if you put a firework in your hand and you close your hand and then it goes off, it'll literally blow your fingers right off. Bang! And you'll have your hand removed. Really nasty stuff. Be careful tonight. If you're going to be out doing fireworks, if you live in a state like Virginia where you got fireworks stands all over every parking lot, you go out buy some fireworks tonight. Be very, very, very careful, okay? Because there are a lot of injuries and people get hurt. They have a couple of beers, they get drunk, they're not paying attention, they're having some fun, and yes, somebody gets hurt. So be super careful tonight, okay? Just remember what Dave said. Super careful. We all want to have our hands. It would be fun to not have any hands, would it? Jeez. Pornhub has 89% of millennials. So we got 27% for Netflix, but then 89% for Pornhub. Harvey would, I don't know. Harvey. You wonder, what it's got to be depressing to think this is what the rest of your life is going to be, Subway news. I was in Subway today. You notice they just, but it's a couple months ago, they came out with like 5 $4.99 subs. They have a veggie sub and a Black Forest ham sub and a meatball sub and that what's it called? Spicy, hot and spicy. What's the spicy one? They were all $4.99. Well, I noticed that as of July 1st, they jacked the prices up for some of those. Some of the subs now, those 5 $4.99 ones, they still have a couple $4.99s. The veggie and the meatball are still $4.99, but now the Black Forest ham is for $5.29, and some of the others are like $5.69 or $5.49. So they have jacked the prices up of some of those $4.99 subs. I don't think anyone's going to care, because even at $5.49, $5.69, that's still a pretty good deal. What do we got here? We got a blinking light up here. What does that mean? A blinking light on my browser. I guess that means good things. Are we coming through loud and clear to everybody? I told you to go outside and interview locals. I guess you took my advice, sorta. I'm doing that. I just try to find some interesting stuff. I mean, I did interview the homeless guy over there. Dave, don't want you to blow off fingers. You won't be able to comment. Yeah, and there's some other things I won't be able to do too. Remember, hey, I don't have time chasers here, but remember this? Yeah, I got this out. So I got the I don't know, man. Someone said I'm not saying I don't know, man, enough. Oh my God. I thought this was a Rippy headline. I don't know. I thought that's Rippy is ripples. Okay, never mind. I got Rippy on the brain. Oh, big news. Amazon wants to control everything. Amazon wants to control everything. Okay, so Amazon has just bought, Jeffrey Bezos and Amazon, he's just bought a prescription company. So, and they're going to be going into your health information data mining. And they're going to, so you pretty soon, you will be able to get like prescriptions on, through the mail via Amazon. So Amazon has Whole Foods now. So there's Whole Foods. They're doing a delivery service like the post office. They're doing prescriptions. They're doing data mining for your health data. They're, and they sell something like 44% of all things sold online are sold via Amazon. So I guess You got to wonder what some of these megamaniacal dudes are doing. He wants to control everything. What is he? Why do you want to? Who wants to do that? I want to control everything. I want to sell you your food, get you your prescriptions, get you medical advice. I want to send you stuff, just distribute stuff. I want to do a delivery service. I want to everything you buy pretty much, you buy through me. It's like, is that a good thing in society? Is that a good thing even in capitalism to have one company dominating or at least being involved in so many different things? I just don't think that's a good trend. I'm not saying Jeffrey Bezos is there yet, but I don't understand that trend. It's like I don't understand Rupert Murdoch and why he wants to be so rich. I mean, he's already super duper pooper rich, and he's selling. He is selling off the Fox thing. Now, he's not selling off the Fox broadcast network, and he's not selling off the Fox News channel. He's holding on to those, but everything else that Fox owns, including its gigantic 21st Century Fox movie theater, movie studios, and all this stuff, including its sports networks, all those Fox sports networks, they're all being sold off. Disney is made a deal to get most of them. Disney already owns ABC, and of course all those wonderful Disney properties and ESPN. And they're going to own now all the Fox movie stuff. So Rupert will hold on to, and Rupert's getting a ton of money for all this. He's going to hold on to the TV network and the Fox News channel, and then the Fox sports properties are going to get passed off to somebody else because the Justice Department thinks that, and I think they're right there. Disney already owns ESPN. It shouldn't be owning all the Fox sports properties too, because that would give them everything would be owned by one company. All these big sports networks would be owned by one company, and that can't be a good thing. Do you think? Battery dying. Whose battery is your battery? Is your pacemaker battery dying? Craig's pacemaker battery is going. Oh no. Let's see. What am I checking up on the comments? Thank you all for being here. 27 folks. That's not bad. Yeah, the spicy Italian, or the spicy Italian is the one that's going up from $4.99 to $5 something. It's already gone up, so that's still not a bad deal, though. To be honest with you, I mean, I can go to Subway, and the Black Forest ham's a good one. Today I got the tuna. Wednesday's the turkey. The turkey one. I got the turkey one today for $5.99 and a drink and some chips, and it came out to under $10, which I think is a very good deal. They're not the best subs in the world, but they're okay. Why are you not cooking at home? You just eating junk. I do not cook. I am not. I don't like to cook. I don't want to cook. I try not to eat junk. I very rarely go to Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's. The fast food places that I do like are Chipotle. I like Chipotle a lot. I do not eat there every day, though, because it just messes my innards if I eat. I love those spicy burrito bowls, but my body just can't take them every single day. I've done that before. It doesn't work. I try to go there 2 or 3 times a week. And I do Panera. I like Panera. I do like Panera. The problem is the Panera here is very, very popular with a lot of these liberal millennials that live around here love to go to Panera, and it's often very crowded. Even when I go to lunch at 11 o'clock, sometimes there's a line practically out the door. So Subway I like. It's just a good, solid, plain sub. I like Firehouse subs. I think they make a better sub. I like them quite a lot, actually. We have a couple good burger joints around here that make some really good burgers. Five Guys. I don't go to the Five Guys as much as I could, because they're just not convenient. They have to drive. They're not right near me. I have to go like 15 minutes away to get to Five Guys. But there's a burger place called BGR, which I've done quite a few mukbangs at, which I really like. They're very good burgers there. And I also like, what do I like? I like Noodles and Company. Noodles and Company is very good. There's one not far from here, and I do like that. But I don't like to cook. Blinking light, Russia sending nuclear missiles. Neil from Teardrop RV Travels. No fingers, no problem. Wow. Hi, Gus Avocados. Hi, who else is here today? S Romo 522. My son calls Whole Foods whole check. Yes, they have the rumor. Their slogan is whole paycheck. They have said when Jeffrey Bezos bought them, he owns the Washington Post too. So of all the things he owns, hold on, I got to get my dill pickle chips. Oh yeah. Problem is, if Tank's in the next room, if he hears this rustling bag, he will be at the door. Oh, damn, these are good. There's my show today, brought to you by Lay's dill pickle chips. These are damn good. I also love sour cream and onion. Oh, put that right back there. That's the crotch. Ah, thank you, Dave. Yes, today we're talking about news and reviews, the latest news today. Anybody want to bring up any topics, please feel welcome to do that. If you want to talk about the politics, we were talking about Amazon. We've talked about Netflix, some media stuff today. Those kids, I still can't quite get my head around those kids over in Thailand being stuck in that cave. I mean, some of the kids were only like 11, and they're going deep into a cave, and then the water comes in and then they get trapped, and they've been in there for weeks, and they might still be there. Some of them might still be there for a couple more weeks at least. They seem to all be in good health, and they're now able to get them food and medicine and stuff. But I don't know, man, how that even happened in the first place is beyond me. Panera nearly went bankrupt during the Atkins diet craze days. Really, Bubba? I did not know that. Crazy. I miss Atlanta bread. I've never heard of that, Lady Redskin, Linda Lady Redskins Burton. Never heard of Atlanta bread. Judy Zim said, you probably need to worry about gastroesophageal reflux disease. We're at that stage of life where it really does a number on us. I hear you there. Couple things with me. First off, I try to not eat anything after 6 o'clock in the evening. You know, if I'm going to have something for dinner, and I usually have a very light dinner, I usually just get a sandwich or something relatively light. I try to eat everything before 6 p.m. And avoid especially stuff like pizza and stuff with a lot of Italian, tomato sauce in it. The problem is the lovely ladies I live with here often like to make dinner at dinner at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and it smells so good. So there have been a couple nights where I have indulged. Yeah, we're not doing YouTube stuff today. This is Dave 2D ever get his camper van running. We will discuss that on Saturday, okay? I do 2 shows, okay? There's Saturday, 9:30 a.m. Saturday mornings. That is where we talk about the week in review at the bottom of YouTube. Dave 2D, Nomadic Fanatic, Caravan Carolyn, Carolyn's RV Life, Line Screw, the Screwball. I was going to bring the Screwball here to have it bounce around, but I forgot. It's still downstairs, but I like that. And then today we're talking about other stuff. Today's the Other Stuff show, okay? We're talking about whatever you want to talk about. If somebody wants to bring up a topic, there's some news you've seen out there, foreign policy, Donald Trump, the Democrats, Walmart. Walmart just got into trouble. They were selling some T-shirts on their website, impeach Donald Trump T-shirts. And apparently a lot of the Trump people got very upset and were starting up a boycott campaign. And Walmart pulled the T-shirts. So, what do you think of that? First off, I don't think Walmart should be selling political T-shirts to begin with. Either way, I think, there are plenty of other places to get those. Damn, these are good. Eat steamed veggie and fruit and try to stay away from red meat. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I try to, turkey, chicken, stay away from red meat. Some days I go completely veggie. I will go to Chipotle and get the sofritas, which is actually quite good. It's kind of a tofu-y thing, kind of spicy. I really like it. Some days, though, they make it wrong. Some days it's like gooey. It's like almost a soup, and they slap it on your burrito. I mean, I say that to them sometimes. That's too soupy. Drain the juice off of it. Dave, your stomach telling me that you can be a food reviewer soon. The new Anthony Bourdain. I will, I will never match the greatness of Anthony Bourdain. That man is a one in a million, and it's a damn shame that he checked out at 61. What? Look at my stomach. Stanley Clausius. Hi, Stan. Hi from Stan. Trump, the best ever need a wall. Dave, you should have been in the 4th of July hot dog eating contest. I am, there are certain things in life that I wouldn't mind being known for, the fastest runner, the most beautiful human being. But I just don't, why would anybody care about being the guy who ate the most hot dogs? That's just kind of gross. Hey, Roland Orzaballs, how are you doing? Yeah, I did notice in your little parody there of Roland Orzaballs LLC, the law firm, how you had the state of Virginia flag in the background there. So that lawyer, I think that lawyer guy looks familiar to me. I'm curious as to where in Virginia that law firm really is located. I've covered some court stuff here in Northern Virginia, and that guy with the beard, there's something about him that I've seen before. I don't know. The slurp alert. Yeah, Craig said, okay. I got, don't worry, I can fix that. Dave loves Tradewinds tea. This big jug only costs $2 at the Shoppers Food Warehouse, and it's really good too. I fill the tea up there so I don't slurp it. This stuff's really good, and then when you finish with the jug, you can put like car antifreeze in here. But take the label off. You don't want someone drinking that by mistake. AB. Oh, Anthony Bourdain was really a good chef and a TV personality. Yeah, he was really wonderful. I'm still totally flabbergasted that he checked out. I think that's really sad. Yeah, that's a damn shame, writes Betty. Good-looking, rich, smart, funny. Could have just retired. He was, tired of traveling. Just so beautiful. Just a shame that Tony Bourdain took his own life. So no other term. I don't know. Again, we don't know all the crazy demons that were going on in his head. You look at people like Chester Bennington, Lincoln Park. The guy seemed to have it all. He had a nice family. I think he had a beautiful house. He seemed to have a lot of money. He was the band was tremendous. I don't know what Lincoln Park's going to do without Chester Bennington. It's kind of like he was the band. He seemed to have it all, and they showed videos of him just a couple days before he, hanged himself, which I think is what he did. And he seemed to be very happy. I don't know. Depression's a weird thing. People just, you can just, I don't know. It just hits you. I don't know. He talked about that on a radio show a couple of months before he died, about the demons in his head and how there's crazy stuff going on up there. But, if you don't suffer from it, it's hard to understand. It's, if you don't suffer from depression, it's really hard to understand what depression does to you. That's all I can say, and it's true, gotta get my scrunching up my face there, if you're not in my head, you don't know what it's like in here. You really don't. Robin Williams, yeah, we'll never truly know. I think Robin was suffering. He was diagnosed with some sort of condition. He had some other health issues going on in his life, and I don't know. Yeah, who knows what's going on? The only thing in Tony Bourdain's life that was kind of questionable, I guess, was the fact that his girlfriend, some Italian actress or something, had been recently seeing somebody else. But his friends all said they have an open relationship, and they all So I don't know. That was really strange. Oh, by the way, if you're planning to get divorced, but do it before the end of the year, okay? Apparently, Donald Trump is going to take away the deduction. A change in the new Republican tax law will eliminate a tax break for alimony payments that are finalized after December 31st. Okay? So if you're going to get divorced, do it before the end of the year, or else you will lose your tax break for alimony payments. Just saying. So, you might want to get busy with that right away, because laws go, you go to a lawyer, it takes forever. Even at Roland and Orzabals, even at Roland and Orzabals. Oh, here's a good story too. Brian Ross, you've probably seen him. He's on ABC News. I think he worked for NBC for a while. Brian Ross, 69, has retired or left ABC News, and the reason, because he did an investigative report that claimed some sort of relationship between our president, Donald Trump, and Russia. And he really hyped it. This was a while back. And apparently, in a big investigation, it turned out that it didn't show up. Okay, it didn't. The hype was there. The hype was misapplied, so to speak. And he had some other problems in the past, and so he is out. They just basically middle of his contract has left. So Brian Ross is going to leave, has already left ABC. Now Donald Trump has come down and really slammed him. Donald Trump denounced ABC's coverage of his connection to Russia as being horrendously inaccurate and dishonest, with Brian Ross as the leader of it. So I guess Trump people have at least pressured ABC in some form or another to get rid of Brian Ross. So there you go. So I guess some of you people are cheering. Yeah, we got rid of one of those hype-ridden, fakey reporters. Although Brian Ross has done a lot of good work. If you read this article, he's been on target. The problem is, he did get a little overzealous on that, according to this report, and he is now a former employee. Dave, I don't know what you're saying. Ted Nugent. What is my opinion on Ted Nugent? I don't have much of an opinion on Ted Nugent. I've never been a fan of his music. I think that kind of thing about, I don't, I did see a thing on Ted Nugent a while back where they went out hunting. I did see some show on cable TV where Ted went out hunting and killed a deer. And I just thought I thought that was really sad. That poor deer, he cut the head off it and was running around with it with the blood coming out of its mouth. And he was really, that was like good for him. He was like, whoa, I am not against hunting. I've never been hunting, and I don't have any intention to go hunting. But I don't have a problem with people that enjoy hunting. I don't have especially if it's for food. I understand that. I just never got into the mindset of hunting for pleasure. Killing animals for pleasure. It has no connection in my head. That's something I would have no desire to do if it were not for food. If I was, if it was for food, that was, I needed to eat. Yes, hunting is a necessary. And again, even if you want to kill animals for personal whatever, hunting. Here they have deer, okay? Here in Northern Virginia, they got deer. They got an overpopulation of deer. The deer are running out on highways, killing people in cars. It's a problem, okay? It is a problem, and so they do cull the herd, so to speak, every year. They do allow deer hunting, sometimes bows and arrows, sometimes guns in the forest here. And it's good to keep the population down so that the deer don't run wild. I understand that. I'm totally for that. I have no problem with that. But still, running around parading with a deer head on a TV show, I'm not a big fan of Ted Nugent. Divorce. Wife gonna dox your girlfriend. Call Roland and Balls LLC. Ask for the troll discount. Tim Petiprin. I am the real Dave Hughes. To tell the truth, I'm Dave. No, I'm Dave Hughes. No, I'm Dave Hughes. That's right. If you mention Dave Hughes, you get an additional 10% off the first consultation. So yeah, file for your divorce before too long, because if they don't finalize it by the end of the year, you're gonna not be able to deduct those alimony payments. Happy Independence Day to all. Don't forget to pay homage to our country's founders and to those who fought for our independence. Good words of wisdom there from Dandy Dan. Hi SKG, how are you doing? I'm with you, Ted Nugent. I don't know. I never got into his music. I just never did. Um, oh, here's an interesting article. Where did I see here? There's an article, I think it's in the New York Times here. Oh, yeah. What is the limit of our lifespan? This is a good article. Really, a lot of good articles in the New York Times, I have to say. How long can people live? You know, right now, the oldest person that has ever lived, according to the oldest person that's ever lived, has been some lady in France that lived to be 122. Okay, she's has passed away, by the way. But they say that we've reached a fixed limit on the lifespan, which they say they estimated about 115 years. So in a couple of years, it'll be pretty ordinary to be living into your hundreds. Okay, but they're talking about how, what is the upper limit that human beings can live. I don't know. The problem is, do we want to live that long? I don't know. One of my friends was talking about some guy who lived to be like 110 or no 103, and that he said he really wished he passed away at 93 because the last 10 years of his life were pretty miserable. But anyway, 122. Yeah, yeah. Can you imagine your retirement plan? I mean, you got to figure out retirement. You're going to be retiring at 65 or something, and you got to figure you're going to be living another 60 years. I mean, that's going to have to be a hell of a lot of retirement savings. Dave, you are I'm like the Joe Rogan podcast, huh? Anyway, today is, as you say, News and Views with Dave Hughes, Wednesday at 1:30. We're talking today about, this is my show where we talk about other stuff other than YouTube, okay? Politics, media stuff, social media stuff, whatever. So if you want to talk about, just bring it up. I mean, 62 more years to do my morning show. I don't know. 75 years is good for me. I think the thing is 75 good years, okay? I'll be honest with you. I want them to be good years. And I said that, that if I can't walk, I don't know if I'm not able to walk, I guess I'll figure something out else with my life. But my walking keeps me sane. The fact that I can get out and go hiking and breathe fresh air, that keeps me sane. And if I don't go out and walk every day, I feel it and I don't enjoy life as much. And if I'm ever in a position where I can't walk anymore, I don't know. I'd have to reassess everything. Where are the burgers and hot dogs for the 4th of July celebration and live stream? Da, 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 I don't know. When I was living in Reston, we had a really nice tradition. There's a lake nearby where I used to live. A lot of people lived along the lake, and we'd all go out on the little boats. Everybody had boats. Those little platformy things, and on 4th of July night, and then everybody living around the lake would do their own little or their own little fireworks thing. So there was no major thing that some of the property owners along the lake. There must have been, I don't know, a couple dozen that would do fireworks things. And you'd see from this end of the lake, from that end of the lake, people would be out on the lake. People would be, imbibing in their adult beverages. People would have those little floating Japanese lanterns, and people were sitting on the dam there. It was a very, very nice, couple of times I went over there, and it was a very nice experience. And it was nice because you didn't have to drive and park to get there. I could just walk there. And some of the nights it was very nice. There were a couple times, though, when the weather wasn't so good, but I enjoyed that a lot. The problem is going to fireworks I would say demonstrations, going to fireworks around here. The traffic is horrible. They have some parks around here where they do have fireworks, county parks, some local high schools, of course, the National Mall. I mean, just to get in and out of that thing, it must take, to get, the park, walk to the subway, get on a crowded subway train, go downtown, get off, and then the big crowds of people and dealing with all that and lines for the porta potties and the heat. And yeah, it's just like, and then it probably rains. I'm not up for that anymore. How fat will Jax the cat be if he lived for 500 years? Most Americans will die in front of a computer with Big Macs at the age of 65. Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, $2,500 a month in total retirement benefits. I mean, you got to figure that lasting for another 65 years. I don't know, man. That's gonna be difficult. What else do we have here? Any other big news? I think I do 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 do. So you can sit down tonight at about 9 o'clock and watch, or 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, isn't it? And put PBS on, and you can watch that little hokey little show there they have on the fourth on the. It's not a hokey show; it's a nice show, but it is kind of. Big news: LeBron joins the Lakers. Yeah, I am not a big sports fan in terms of basketball. I know Black Bigot did a couple things on his Lamont at Large channel on that. You know, I don't know. If you want to comment on that, that's perfectly fine with me. But I'm not a basketball person. Yeah, Tank does not like sudden loud noises. And they said that. They said that every 4th of July, the animal control people always have a bunch of dogs that get spooked by the noise and go off and just run through the woods and get lost. $155 million for 4 years. That's wrong and crazy. Yeah. Well, that's sports, you know. Where's that money come from? It comes from the sports owners, I guess, and I don't know. Sports rights keep going up and up and up for broadcast rights. All these cable networks have to pay more and more and more for NFL, for NHL, for basketball, baseball. And and eventually that just means you have to pay more and more for your cable networks for the sports things. They just keep going up and up. Dave Pudge alert. I did have some Doritos for lunch too, but I'm still hungry. Any thoughts on Schlotsky's sandwiches? I don't think I've ever eaten at a Schlotsky's. I don't think so. Holy cow, what? They said there were 30,000 apps you can get for your phone that are devoted to mental health. 30,000 apps? Can people get it? Anybody addicted to video games? Can people get addicted to video games? Apparently so. I mean, you can get addicted to anything, can't you? You can get addicted to Big Brother, the TV show. Warning, warning, warning. Dill pickle potato chips being recalled due to being accidentally tainted with a YouTube viewer diminisher chemical. Yeah, you're funny there, Mikey Mike. Please bring back Marxism to this planet. Dave orders off the kitty menu. Why do you want Marxism? Well, there's still we still have some Marxism, right? I think there's a lot of Marxism in a lot of cultures today. It's not out and out Marxism, but a lot of Marxist theory, communist, socialist. There's a lot of countries in Europe and even here in the United States to some degree in Canada where there's socialist ideals that are very much alive today. So, you know, it just kind of it's like a wave. Things come over and then certain things get into the society, and there's quite a lot of Marxisty things in our country today, and in a lot of countries, and some of it isn't bad. Some of it's actually kind of good. I don't go running around saying Dave's a commie. Dave's a communist. There's a balance. I think it's just a balance. Capitalism's a balance. Private industry is good, but to a certain point, to the point where, that's why I'm saying you got to have competition. Competition is what keeps private capitalism good. That's the best thing about capitalism is the competition. You have, this company and this company and this, 10 different broadcast networks all competing against each other, or 10 different companies that own broadcast networks or cable networks. When you get it down to 2 and 3 and you start losing the competition and you start getting collusion, it's the problem that you have now with internet. The FCC likes to make it think like we have competition. That Verizon is competing with Comcast and is competing with Charter, who's competing with Time Warner. You live in a place, okay? Most places where you live in the United States of America today get 1 or 2 internet providers. That's it. That's all you got. You may, here in where I'm living, we got Verizon Fios, and we've got what's it called? Now there's some other Cox and Verizon, two choices. And you know what? When you go and look at what they offer, they're almost identically priced. They've colluded with each other. They've gotten together, quite maybe not officially. Oh, this guy's charging $98 for that package, and we'll charge $9. It's the same thing. You go to a intersection and you see 4 gas stations, and they all charge the same price for the gasoline. Everybody's seen that. It's not competition all of a sudden. And when you have these big media mergers and big companies suddenly running everything, pretty soon, literally, we're down to like 4 giant media companies running all the different TV networks, and that's not a good thing. It's not good for competition. It's bad. And so, then you got to get the socialists come in and they say, oh, you need to break up the companies, and so there's always shifting back and forth from right wing, left wing, and that's a good thing. The fact that it can all switch back and forth. Is Dumonic here? Let's see. Let's see. Who do we got? Let me check again. I'm talking too much and not paying attention to the comments here. Let's scan back. Dandy Don. Ron Buckley's here. Who won the hot dog contest at Coney Island? The carpetbagger. Didn't you hear? He won. I liked your video on MFJ. That was pretty funny there. I asked MFJ about it. I said, "Did you watch Ron's latest video?" And it was in his chat last night. And he kind of went, "You're right, Betty Smith. In a lot of places in America, there's only one internet provider. Now, how do you call that competition? I don't know. It's better competition when you have the cell phones. At least there's 5 or 6 major providers of cell phone service, in any one area. But even that now they're all merging. T-Mobile wants to merge with so-and-so, wants to merge with AT&T, and it's not good. It's just, it just ain't right. Hey, Michael, how are you? I'll try pickle chips. I'll buy a backup for my chip obsession. Can't always buy one. The worst one is sour cream and onion. I love those things. These are good, but someone said this is your final meal before going to the electric chair. What kind of potato chips do you want? I would probably say sour cream and onion, Warden. Hi, Monchichi. How are you? Hi, Aloha MD. Hi, Done Working. Can't shop around for internet or cable. They are all the same. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the way it is. Everybody charges the same price. Do you ever try to buy like some Microsoft product? You go to Best Buy, you go to Staples, you go to but they're all the same exact price. It's like there's some like you have to charge the same. GoPro is like that. It's almost impossible to find a good deal on a GoPro other than eBay. I guess if private sellers can give you one, but if you go around to buy a new GoPro somewhere, there's always like these fixed prices on everything. And I mean, sometimes they'll give you like Target will give you like a gift card, $25 gift card, but the prices don't fluctuate very much. But I mean, I just see so much of that in our culture today. Is like everybody wants to merge. Grow constantly, big, merge, then that builds up the stock prices and feeds the investors. But in a lot of cases, that is not good in the long run for the consumer. I'm in Person County. Person, the Merson. There used to be a guy on the radio here called the Merson Person, Ken Merson. Hi, I'm the Merson Person. ZEP merging with BVP. Blind Views. Yeah, we're merging. Didn't I tell you that? Camo Dave and Blind Views, we're merging. We're going to create we're going to have one big bottom of YouTube critical powerhouse. Now, who gets top billing? Is it Camo Dave and Blind Views, or is it Blind Views and Camo Dave? I don't know. We're going to have to discuss that one. Lab-grown meat could be on sale by 2018. Cultured tissue harvested without harming or killing any animals would allow scientists to grow meat in labs with a handful of starter cells on menus soon. That's very interesting, Judy. Wow. That is fascinating. Michael is in this. Michael's in the crowd here today. He's one of my good friends. I think he said when his family's from Nebraska, and one of the things his dad did when he was a little kid was they took the family over to the slaughterhouse. That's what they got out in Nebraska there, and it's like it's an interesting thing to think about. When you're eating your hamburger or your steak, what goes, how does that meat get onto your plate? Where does it come from? How does it get there? When you're eating that chicken there at the Popeyes, go to Delaware and you see these big chicken farms, where they bring chickens in and they go into these big factory type things, and yeah, there's a whole, we don't think about that when we're eating meat, but it's there. It's the way it is. Blind Camo Dave Views. I like Camo Views Blind Dave. I don't know. Blind Dave. Sir Wallace. Is he a top? Are you still doing the summer tour? Yeah, I do still plan to go down to North Carolina by the middle of this month. That's my plan, Stan. We'll see if it works out. That's the plan, Stan. Anyway, so what else is going on? Anybody watching the World Cup? Brazil 2, Mexico 0. I have not been in. I just do not get into the World Cup. I sometimes do if America has a team, but we don't even have a team this year. So I've not really been following it. Unhappily houseless. I'll put some 360 video of fireworks in Plymouth, Wisconsin too. You're a lazy bottom, Sir Wallace. Okay. Oh, good. Going to NC to see CB. I wouldn't mind going down to North Carolina to see Carpetbagger. I think I like the guy. I wouldn't mind going to see his compound, getting a personal tour of his bunker. I would enjoy that. I think it would be really cool. If I'm going down to visit my friend, some of my friends down there, I would be definitely in that Western North Carolina area. I think that would be a lot of fun. I would like, I've already interviewed Carpetbagger, which is great. I've already interviewed Adam the Woo. I've done Black Bigot. I've done Mark Fun Jones. I've done Kentucky Ranger. I did Evie Nova. I mean, I interviewed Evie Nova. So, I'd like, on my goal for continuing interviews, I'd love to do Nomadic Fanatic. I think he'd be cool. I try, Blind Views and I both tried to get Caravan Carolyn, but she kind of stood us both up. That's okay. I like Blind View's interviews. I really did enjoy. I do enjoy his interviews. The Sightseeing Sally, he just got a new one up for the for Line Screw, which was very good. A very good interview. I thought it was a little long. Part one was 30 minutes, part two was 40 minutes. Could have been a little shorter, but I like Blind Views. I like Blind Views and I like Line Screw. I think they're good cats. But I shouldn't be talking about that because this is the we keep getting into that. This is not Saturday. This is News and Views. Thank you, Alan Walker. That helps so much. $3.99. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, gas prices here in Northern Virginia are getting expensive. I noticed that. Yeah. News and Views, Dave Hughes. Yeah. So I hope to get down to North Carolina, South Carolina area by the middle of the month, and then I would like to stay through the end of the month, but I don't know how everything's going to work out with the ladies I'm living with here and whatever. But Roland Orzabal is not. Yeah, Roland, you said you grew up in Virginia. What part of Virginia were you in? I'd like to go down to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge and all that. I think that would be a lot of fun. I don't want to do it when the tourists are all there, though. I'd rather do it in a non-touristy time, maybe in the fall or something. Dave, I feel Carpetbagger let you interview him for only to gain more fans and nothing else, but I could be wrong. Yeah, well, I don't know what his motives were, and I don't really care. That's fine. The ladies need a stroll with Tank. Yeah, I'm starting. Some people say I talk about the YouTubers too much. Sometimes they say not enough. Anyway, Dave News and Views every Wednesday at 1:30 in the afternoon Eastern time. I'm trying this out. We're going to do it regular here. 2 regular shows I'm going to be doing. This is one of them. This is on my Dave Hughes channel, which is all my other stuff. We're talking today about a lot of other things, a little bit of politics. We're talking some sports. We're talking about Netflix. We're talking about some media stuff. The kids that were down in the cave down there in Thailand. If anybody want to talk about something, bring it up. Okay, topic. Danville, Virginia, but I lived in Lynchburg and Roanoke. Okay. So yeah, Southern Virginia there, down near the North Carolina border. Virginia's a big state. It's a huge state. It really is. Very, very, very big. Anybody watching A Handmaid's Tale? No, totally, Kathy. I have not. I have really, I cut cable back in 2014, and I have watched very little cable stuff ever since then. I've seen parts of it. The lady that was in Mad Men was in that. What's her name? I can't remember her name. Elizabeth something. And I've seen a couple episodes in it, and I did find it very intriguing, but I just haven't done it. What's my favorite movie of all time? I saw the interview that Blind Views did with Line Screw, and I think he said 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I'd have to say that would be one of mine too. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim. I'm the real Dave Hughes. Okay, you can be me. Why can't I be you? One of the best Cure songs ever. Yeah, I love Stanley Kubrick, The Shining, and especially 2001. I think those 2 movies are great. I love Alfred Hitchcock, North by Northwest, Vertigo, Rear Window, Psycho. I like Woody Allen. I like Annie Hall and the early comedies, Bananas, Take the Money and Run, stuff like that. Those are some of my favorite movies of all time. Wim Wenders, have you ever heard of him? He's a German director. Did a movie called, what was that movie called? I can't remember that movie. He's done some good stuff. I like some of his stuff. Citizen Kane I've always liked. I like the Doris Day, Rock Hudson comedies. I always like those. Shawshank Redemption's a good movie. Yeah, there are a lot of good movies. I could punch up my list of movies here and go through all. I could just spend the whole rest of the afternoon talking about movies, but I really don't want. You don't want me to do that, do you? I never liked American Graffiti much. American Beauty, I liked. That was that Kevin Spacey movie. A couple. That was 1999. I think that was a great movie. I really liked that a lot. Back to the Future. No, I'm never a fan. I don't know. I missed Back to the Future. It's kind of a little after my childhood years. My nephew Tom, who's 40, was a big fan of it, but I just never really got into that much. Just, I'm more of a fan of the airplane comedies, Airplane One, Airplane Two, the Police Squads, Leslie Nielsen. I love those movies. Those are that's the kind of stuff I like. All About Eve was a great movie. I really like that a lot. Yes, I like film noir, Double Indemnity. That was a great movie. Animal House. Eh, American History X was quite good. I did like that. Yeah, that's Edward Norton. Do you know that he's not? He came from an area. He's from Columbia, Maryland, which is just on the other side of DC. So he's kind of a local. Brokeback Mountain. I can't quit you. I can't quit you, Camo Dave. I do like a lot of British stuff. Train Spotting. That was a good movie. I love Train Spotting. That's a fantastic movie. Oh, I do. I like Mel Brooks too. Yeah, Young Frankenstein was great. Uh, Frankenstein. Uh, there's a movie Mel Brooks did with. See, now I'm getting into names, and I just blah 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 blah. I can't think of Mel Brooks's wife's name. She passed away not too long ago, the actress. Anyway, he did a movie called 21 Charing Cross Road or something like that about a woman. It was Anthony Hopkins was in it. There's a man and a woman who had a lifelong relationship of just exchanging letters and Anne Bancroft. Anyway, really wonderful movie, and Mel Brooks did the movie. It was, it wasn't a funny movie, but it was a brilliant movie and one of his all-time best. Oh yeah, I remember Blazing Saddles. Now that was I remember when I first moved to Virginia, power would go out every time any thunderstorm, so we'd get in the car and go to the movies and go see Blazing Saddles. Thelma and Louise. I love the scene at the end where they go over the cliff. The Hatfields and the McCoys. Yeah, Anne Bancroft was a wonderful actress. Yeah, she was in a lot of good movies over the years. Dave, since you've been in the broadcast realm for a while, tell us about how the equipment was versus now and how it all works briefly. Yeah, right. I think the interesting thing is today, somebody said this, you go to, there's a company called Clear Channel. They're called iHeart. They're now iHeart. They own like 5 or 6 radio stations here in the Washington area. They have a huge broadcast facility over in Rockville, Maryland, where they run all these 5 or 6 stations. And you walk in and you see all these blinking lights and all these different control rooms, and there's nobody there. And here's 5 radio stations, 6 radio stations, and it's all on digital, whatever, satellite feeds, and there's like nobody in the place. Now, if you're in there in morning drive, yeah, you'll see some folks doing the morning drive shows, but it's fairly empty place, and that's how radio is today. Back in the day, in the 70s, it's people running around doing everything, every radio station. I think it's the fact that it's so automated today. Everything is piped in from somewhere else, and they make it sound local, and they do a good job of that. But how few people are actually involved in it today. It's incredible. WOR 710. Yeah, I used to listen to that station. And New York City has 2 major talkers, WOR 710 and WABC 770. WABC used to be a big top 40 station. They flipped to talk somewhere in the 80s, I think. Yeah, all these radio companies go into bankruptcy. It's kind of like a scam. It's a big scam. Cumulus just came out of bankruptcy. All these companies do this on a regular basis. They file for bankruptcy, then they get, the bankruptcy court says, okay, you don't have to pay all your creditors, and then they reconfigure themselves, and all the big execs walk away with a big, huge golden parachute, and then he gets some new execs to come in, and then they start it all over again, and then it just keeps going. It's a giant scam, and the radio business, it's run by people that are beholden to Wall Street hedge funds and stuff, and it's not connected anything to what radio should be. It's and every station sounds the same. We have a rocker here in DC called DC 101, and it sounds just like if you're in Charlotte, if you're in New York City, if you're in Philadelphia, if you're in Las Vegas, you'll hear a station that sounds exactly like it. Same songs, maybe even the same personalities. That's just the way it works. I saw love letters with Lyle Wagner and Jill St. John. Really? Lyle Wagner, Carol Burnett show. That's really cool. Da-da-da-da-da-da. The jack stations. Yeah, we play whatever we like, right? It's just kind of like what they call adult hits. There's classic rock and then there's adult hits. Yeah, it's very well researched. Okay, believe me. Hey, geezer, $2. Thank you so much. Happy 4th of July there in Delaware. You going to go over to Rehoboth and watch the fireworks tonight? Go over to my friend Sandy's there. She lives on the other side of the bay there. You can go back on her back deck and watch the fireworks over the bay there. I miss that. I miss being up in Rehoboth for 4th of July. That was a lot of fun last year. Do I know Conflict Radio? No. What? I mean, I know about like right-wing talk where everybody's screaming and yelling, or talk radio, but there's Conflict Radio. I don't know what specifically that is. DC One was better in the 80s, wearing when Clear Channel, before Clear Channel owned them. DC 101 was actually they held on to local ownership for quite a while. And they were a very cool radio station when they were locally owned. I believe that's even the Howard Stern days. Howard Stern worked at DC 101 back in 81, 82, before he went up to WNBC up in New York. And then they got bought by Clear Channel, which became iHeart, and they're not anywhere near as good. Their ratings aren't very good either. I wouldn't be surprised to see K-Love buy them. Wings of Desire, that was the movie. Them Vendors, I love that movie. It's got Peter Falk in it. It'll blow your head off. It's such a wonderful movie. It's black and white color. It's in some German, some English. But it is one of the greatest movies you'll ever see. I highly recommend you go dig that one up on DVD somewhere and watch it. Wings of Desire. Yes. One of my favorite movies of all time. I also love, like Clockwork Orange. I like a lot of Stanley Kubrick. Conflict Radio Coast to Coast. Oh, Conflict. Is that what they call it? I know George Norrie does the Coast to Coast. Yeah. The Coast to Coast thing. I didn't know they called it Conflict Radio. I like George Norrie. I think he's a very good guy. I enjoy the show a lot. The problem with George Norrie's Coast to Coast show is there's no affiliate here in the Washington market for it. So I can go on my phone and stream. I can stream some stations in the area. There's a station over in Rehoboth Beach. There's a station in Baltimore that carries the show, but there's nothing here in DC, so I can't get it on my plain old radio, which pisses me off to some degree. Of this market, you would think somebody in the Washington market's like the 7th or 8th largest radio market. Why no station in this market carries George Norrie is way beyond me. I stopped watching Stern after the Butt Bongo Fiesta. Howard Stern is something else. Yeah, I did watch Netflix the other night. David Letterman with the big beard has an interview series on, and he did an interview with Howard, which was kind of the same old, same old. They didn't really say anything new. Yes, thank you very much to Al in Tennessee for this. He's done a whole bunch of Dave-themed shirts. Holiday-themed shirts. We have a Mardi Gras one, and there's one with me wearing a Santa hat, and this is the one for the 4th of July. So I am sporting this today. Yeah, right. WABC does carry George Norrie. He's carried all over the place. Just no station in Washington carries him. Although 770, I would think George Norrie's probably on 710, right? WOR. 770 is owned by Cumulus, and Cumulus likes to run that horrible trucking show at night. Oh my God. Yeah, so 1 to 5 o'clock, they run this trucking show. I forget what it's called. It's for truckers, and it's all just right wing politics. Over, yeah. Yeah, I can 1100 out of Cleveland. It's 1110 out of Charlotte. Sometimes 1140 out of Richmond. I can sometimes hear George Norrie. 680 out of Baltimore, but their night signal is horrible. I just punch them up. I can get them on the old streaming. Streaming is much better. But yeah, I do like George Norrie a lot. I was really sad to see God, who's the guy that just passed away? The guy that preceded him. Uh, Come on, guys, give me his name. Give me his name. Art Bell. Art Bell. Just yeah, Art Bell passed away a couple months ago. I was really sad to see that. I thought he was a cool guy. Yeah, he was the guy who really invented that kind of overnight alien conspiracy. Okay, I think what you mean is conspiracy radio, not conflict radio, right? Conspiracy radio, where the government, the aliens, everybody's conspiring. Yeah, that's the kind of radio that Art Bell did. Late at night, and the government said they have these conspiracies with aliens and at Area 51 or whatever, and da 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 da. Yeah, that was I love that show when Art did it, and then George came along, and and it's not. I don't think it's as good as when Art did it, but it's still not bad. I've been watching Shameless season 1 to 7 after I saw season 8 on a free preview. I've never checked that out, Judy. I'll have to do that. You've explained why YouTube takes 30% of super chats. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I guess they figure it's so easy to do. Even a caveman could do it. So I don't know. They figure they can what can we get away with? We're giving you a really easy way to make money, so we're going to take 30% of it. My dad, Becky Green, my dad was master control at the Nashville ABC. Really? That's really cool. Really cool. I went to work with him all the time. Did you hang out with the news? Did you watch the news people? No, just Google Dave Conflict Radio. Okay. Okay. Yeah, if you want me to get the whole amount, Michael, just send me a check. If you send money on Super Chat, they take 30% out of it. So what about a Camo Dave T-shirt shop? Yeah, people keep telling me I should get into doing that. I just haven't. I really am trying to just keep the fund. I have PayPal and Super Chat, and that's enough for me right now. Anyway, anybody got any more news you want to talk about? I'm trying to keep this as the news and views show with Dave Hughes, but it's a holiday, so we're all sitting here just kind of having some fun. What are you all going to go out to see the fireworks tonight? You're going to watch them on your local PBS station. I don't know. Somebody out here was doing fireworks last night. I heard quite a lot of banging and booming. Yeah, I know. T-shirt. Yeah, you just set it up and then they take care of all of it and you get a percentage. I may do that. Oh, Bubba, you were involved in the transition to HGTV. I used to go to broadcasting conventions back in the 1980s. I think it was 1984. 1984. I was out at the NAB convention in Los Angeles when they were unveiling a lot of that HGTV stuff. They did a lot of the Olympics, that LA Olympics thing in HD. It was shot, kind of for investigative purposes. And it was very fascinating to see the early days of HGTV. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got a new thing now called ATSC3, which is going to really change. One television station will be able to broadcast like a dozen different signals. I don't know. A lot of TV stations are going off the air. You don't realize that. There's the Channel 50 here in Washington. It's a CW station. They've gone away. I mean, they're still there, but they're not on the air anymore. They're not really they don't have their own signal anymore. They're not piggybacking on another station. there's another station that's got a sub channel with them on it. So when you tune in channel 50 on your television, which only like 2% of you do anymore because you're not on cable, you'll see channel 50 and it comes up and there's a signal, but it's not coming from channel 50. It's coming from some other station like 14 or 7. Then they're not even broadcasting a signal anymore. They're just sending it to another station. A lot of TV stations are doing that now. It's very confusing. Um, they've sold back their spectrum to the FCC and gotten a big bunch of money for it, and you're going to see more and more of that. Anyway, we used to think it was so great compared to 1080p. It looks like you're shooting through a fog. It's so dry here in Colorado that the vast majority of fireworks are banned. Really? Oh, that's a shame. Oh yeah, don't forget to as my doxinator kindly reminds me, don't forget to check out Blind Views tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Thirsty Thursday. That's Blind Views, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Thirsty Thursday at on the Blind Views channel. Don't forget to check out his really cool interview with Line Screw. Although they don't talk about the Caroline's RV journey, they don't talk about the controversy. I was hoping somewhere in that lengthy interview they would mention that, but they don't talk about it. But it's still a good interview yesterday. And Blind Views is also talking about Big Brother. I guess that's the name of the show. I don't watch it, but he and Totally Kathy were doing a little together thing there. So whatever. What was the name of the guy on the local news called himself Captain 20? His name is Dick Dizell. I know him. He's a very nice man. I think he retired and went to Florida. Dick Dizell, he used to do the kiddie show host, Captain 20, and then that was on the weekday mornings, and then on Saturday nights he was Count Gordeval. That was his name on television, Count Gordeval. And I do have that up. If you look on my Dave Hughes channel, somewhere on one of my channels, I do have my interview with Count Gordeval. I went to his dungeon and we did a movie. This was back in 2007 or 8. It's very fun, and I do have it up somewhere. I'll try to link to it in the comments below if I can find it. I reposted it not that long ago, but it's pretty funny. If you search for like Camo Dave, Count Gordeval, you might find it. Tick tick tick. Oh yeah, what do you want? What are you saying? I'm going too long here. No RV today, please. Well, I did a show this morning. We talked about Pneumatic Fanatic and all that. So, but today is the news. Today is Dave Hughes with the news. I actually went and fished these out of the Starbucks recycle bin this morning, so I can keep you up to date on all the news. Service. Hold on. That's one thing I did want to talk about today. They're investigating. They are having a new service called Ultra. You pay $17 a month for Netflix in 4K and HDR. So, going to reportedly testing out a new 4K service called Ultra, which is more expensive than the current premium option. So anyway, if you want 4K Netflix, good luck with that. How do you get Netflix, right? You get Netflix via your internet connection, right? And who controls your internet connection, right? Well, if you're on Wi-Fi, it's probably Comcast or Verizon or Time Warner or somebody, Cox. If you're on cell phones, you're probably AT&T or T-Mobile or Verizon again or whoever. And if you're going to be watching 4K, that's going to take up a lot of bandwidth. And how's that going to work for you? That's going to use up a lot of your data. Just saying. Is your internet provider going to just sit back and say, "Go ahead, take it"? Or are they going to say, we have this special Netflix plan. If you stream a lot of Netflix, we'll give you a fast lane to Netflix for only $200 a month. How about it? You see, now that there's no net neutrality, they can do that. Hey, you enjoy watching those YouTube videos and you're tired of all that buffering? We got a special deal for you. How about our Netflix stream service. You can we'll send you on a super highway to super highway to YouTube, and it's only $250 a month. How does Netflix promote? Yeah, I don't know how they do that. Bye, Dave. Your Zep producer is trying to get you to quit. He probably has somewhere else to be. Yeah, he wants to sit out by the pool with his bulldog. Time to have more beer. I think he's right. I think we've probably gone on a little too long here. An hour and 20 minutes. I'm good for an hour and a half, and then I kind of wilt. So I do appreciate it. We got 49 people today. That's cool. I'm surprised we got that much on a holiday. I appreciate you taking some time out on your busy holiday weekend or weekend. It feels like the weekend, doesn't it? Oh my goodness. Yes, it's a camo day, camo bubbles production in association with Doxinator Industries LLC. News and views with Dave Hughes. So anyway, we're going to try this every Wednesday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. It's on my Dave Hughes channel. Check it out. So appreciate you all for being here. And Dave, come to Disney World in Orlando so we can have a magical time together. Okay, Long Duck Dong. Any ketchup and mustard on your tea? Well, no, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't wear this to lunch. I took it off, went to lunch, put this back on, so I didn't made sure I didn't get any ketchup and mustard on it. I have never been. I honestly will admit this. I have never been to Disney World or Disneyland. I've been to Los Angeles. I've been to Florida many times, but we've never done it. As I said, my parents wanted to go to. My dad wanted to go to real places. He always said that. Why do we want to go to a fake place? I want to go to some place real. A real beach, a real this. Or, we want to go to the Everglades and see real alligators. That's what we did. We didn't go to Disney. And I don't want to go to some corporate theme park. Blah, blah. And we didn't. So I just never did it. And I totally agree with my dad in some respects. Holidays with Dave. Hey, there's another thing. 4th of July with Dave. Take Dave down a river in Florida. Well, I don't know. Stingray has a relatively obscure open invitation to do some stuff on his boat down there in Virginia, the Richmond area. Dave's dad was a wise man. He was a good guy. My daddy. I have to say, people talk about the parents. I always had a real great relationship with both of my parents. I have the world's greatest parents. What do you say? I had a pretty ideal childhood. I think my favorite years were 1968 to 1972, when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. We were living in New Jersey for most of those years. And, it was just a wonderful period of my life. The space shots, landing on the moon, all those things were going on. The Beatles, there's so much cool music, top 40 radio, 2001, so many cool movies, Planet of the Apes. I think Planet of the Apes 2001, that was more of what I got into when I was a kid, as opposed to Back to the Future. It was just a lot of fun those years. I made model planes, hung out with my friends, went camping. We did camping in the Jersey Pine Barrens. Those were 4 or 5 really fun years, I have to say. And then we moved down here and kissed that goodbye pretty much. But those 4 or 5 years, those last couple of years of living in Jersey were a lot of fun. Beaches on the weekend. Dad would load us in the car, be an hour down to Atlantic City or Cape May or something. That was a wonderful time. Wildwood. Had a wonderful time. We took a big trip down to Miami, drove the whole way down Route 17 there, 13, 17, whatever that road was, the old Route 1 part of it. That was just a wonderful trip. Mr. Rogers documentary. I'd like to see that. I'll probably wait till it comes on Netflix. I'm not into going to a movie theater and paying to see a documentary. But, yeah. Oh, yeah. I used to walk around playing my saxophone in a sax quartet during my summers at Disneyland. Grizzly Disc Jockey 111. Where'd you work, Grizzly? Any famous stations? If we donate the price of admission to Disney World, would you do a meetup inside the park? I can't guarantee that. That might be, I don't know, do they allow you to do meetups inside the park like that? They might, like, didn't they kick Adam the Woo out for something like that? I don't know. Well, what's that Old Town? We'll do one over at Old Town. Dave knew he would never be tall enough for the rides. I'm not that short, okay? Come on. Mr. Rogers' movie was great, as Tony the Tiger would say. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I thought he was, he was such a nice guy. Most of my career, I worked at WTV in Durham, but did work at WABC one winter. Really? Very cool, Bubba. Maybe WABC TV or radio? Probably TV, right? Both those stations, I think both are owned by ABC, right? I know WABC is obviously the TV station, and WTVD, I think they own the Durham station there, don't they? So you probably use the same company, right? Oh, yeah. Adam was sneaking in places at Disney he never should have. He did some back, and those were some cool videos, actually. I kind of like that, where he went behind, into those. Somewhat, he'd see like a door, and he'd go back in there, and there would be a whole closed section. Those are some of his best Disney videos. I worked at WZOU, the zoo, for 10 weeks before the ratings went down and we all got canned. That's the funny scene in Howard Stern's Private Parts. Remember, there was a funny station. It was called WWWW, 4W or W4, I forget, WWWW in Detroit. And it was a rock station, and he's working there. And then one morning he goes into work, and they flipped the country. They kept the whole air staff. So he's putting on a funny hat. Hey, everybody, here's Merle Haggard. It's just like, boom, That happens to radio people a lot. In fact, you may lose your job that way. All of a sudden, you go into work one morning and you're all fired. We've changed format, Back in the 70s, I performed on the Donnie and Marie show. Really? Wow. Donnie and, I was talking about the people that are my contemporaries, people that are the same age as me, if they're still alive. Donny Osmond, Madonna, and of course, Prince, Michael Jackson. We were all like the same. We were all born around the same time. And 2 of them are still here and 2 of them are gone. WKQQ, Lexington. WKQQ. There's a good station I used to listen to when I was at JMU. That's still around. 3WV in Charlottesville. 3WV, WWWV. 97.5. They were a good station. I haven't listened to them in a while, but I always listened to them a lot when I was in college. And I listened to DC 101 a lot, 98 Rock. They're all still around in Baltimore, and WHFS, which is long gone. But that was a cool station. I always liked HFS. Oh, yeah. And then Philly. Philly had some good stations. MMR, which is still there. YSP, which is gone. I think Blindview said that was one of his favorite stations, WMMR. They were a very good station. Yeah, Metro Media was a company that owned a bunch of AOR stations in the Northeast. They owned WNEW New York and 102.7 and MMR 93.3 in Philly. And they had a really nice AOR presentation there back in the early days. I think they owned WMET, and I believe they owned that one in LA, 94.7, something like that. I think they owned a station. But they had really good AOR, album-oriented rock. That was a big format that burgeoned in the mid-70s. It burgeoned. Stingray remembers 3WV. Good for you. What's the other one? XL 102. That was the big station in Richmond. XL 102. Now they're owned by the same company that owns DC 101, iHeart. Oh yeah, muckbagging. Remind me for a few more chips here. Okay, I'm gonna pull the plug in 2 minutes. 90 minutes is long enough. You can go out and have some fun. XL 102. I used to listen to that in college. They have a killer signal, or they used to. I mean, you could hear them all the way up in Harrisonburg, which is like 150 miles away. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to make a super chat donation so I can buy some more dill pickle chips. K94. Yeah. I do remember that station. That was down in the Norfolk area, right? Wowie. I always like the call letters Wowie, WOWI, which was down there in the Norfolk area. Wowie. Wowie. 98.7. That was a cool station. And WNOR, was it? There was a cool station in Norfolk, but way back in the day, too. Oh, yeah. Fire on High by. Yeah, I love ELO. ELO was one of my. I love Tusk, too. I love that album. That was a one. Really? I recorded with Fleetwood Mac on the Tusk song. Yes, they had the marching band. I love that album. I love that album. That's one of my favorite Fleetwood Mac albums. Double record set. I loved ELO too. Oh, I'm Evil Woman. That was one of my favorite songs of all. I loved ELO. Jeff Lynne, the early days when they were more classical, and then they got real pop, but they got huge in the late 70s. CKLW, Windsor, Ontario, the Big 8. Yeah, that was a great station. That was a wonderful station. I used to listen to them all the time. Yeah, great night signal. They covered the whole East Coast. And again, they had the Canadian content rules because they were in Canada, so they played a hell of a lot of Bachman Turner Overdrive. Slice of Heaven, KMWT. You never heard of that one? KMET. Yeah, I've heard of KMET, right. They were in fact, my friend Michael gave me a KMET t-shirt. I have that around somewhere in my storage locker. 80s, 90s music still rocks, always the best. Yeah, I have a attraction for that 80s kind of new wave. U2, The Cure, Depeche Mode, New Order, etc., etc. All those bands, I love them. I think Depeche Mode, New Order, The Cure. Damn, yeah. I still listen to that stuff and go, holy cow. Yeah, CKLW had a good signal. The only problem was there was a radio station in the Netherlands Antilles, which is off the coast of Venezuela, also on 800 kilohertz. It was in but it had 500,000 watts. It was the most powerful AM station in the whole Western Hemisphere. There were stations in Europe that had more power, but and there were some nights when you tuned in 800 kilohertz, wanting to listen to CKLW here in the DC area, and you got religious music from this station down in the Netherlands Antilles. Some nights the atmosphere did some weird stuff, so you weren't guaranteed every night to hear CKLW here in the DC area. Sometimes it was that other station. It's kind of weird. Oh yeah, I loved it. Yeah, Personal Jesus. Super Q. ELO, Kiss, Queen, Elton. Yeah. I never got into Kiss. I liked ELO. I liked Queen a lot, and I did like Elton. But Kiss, I want to rock and roll all night. I kind of like that song, but I'm not a big Kiss fan. I just thought that was silly how they had to paint their faces. Come on, just dang, that's a lot of wattage. Yeah, the most powerful AM stations in America were 50,000 watts, and this station was down in the Caribbean, and it had 500,000 watts. So some nights it just blasted through. European stations, they're the Radio Luxembourg there in Luxembourg, with beamed over to London on AM 1440, 208 meters. They had 2 million watts, and they really just blasted their signal. Yeah, but they're. And then FM was different. FM's all weird. The Super Q and 9 radio parodies. No. Send me a link to them, Ken. The camodave at gmx.com. Send me a link to those. I'd love to watch them. Yeah, the early days, their experimental WLW 700 in Cincinnati did run 500 kilowatts. Yes, that was way back when. Then they were taken down to 50. But in the early days, WRVA at once had 80,000. There were some, I think, experimental stations back in the early days. I know WRVA FM they ran way over 50,000 watts. The FMs were allowed to do that. There were a number of FMs when you got down to the South and the Mid Atlantic area, they were running like some were running 150 to 200,000 watts. I know we're getting into kooky shit here, but I gotta stop. There was a station in WSLQ 99.1 in Roanoke. I think ran 250,000 watts on FM. I mean, it had a killer signal. I mean, way up the Shenandoah Valley to Winchester, and you could hear that. It was great. The problem was that we like to listen to WH. There were some days WHFS here in Washington was on 99.1. There were some days, and we were like right across the river from WHFS. You couldn't hear WHFS. You heard WSLQ in Roanoke, because HFS was like 10,000 watts and WSLQ was 250,000 watts. And some days it's just, oh my goodness, HFS flip format. They're not playing easy listening music. Oh no. The atmosphere is doing weird stuff. WBAP, they're still there, right? They're a Cumulus talker now, 8:20 a.m. Yeah, they're Dallas's most powerful AM station, right? Yeah, yeah. Now, once you get into the Northeast, you can't do those big power levels. Once you get up to Central Virginia, up to New England, it's all 50,000 watt maxes, except for WETA FM here in Washington. I think they have a 75,000 exemption. They're classical. Anyway, I'm tired of it. I don't want to get into all that. AM and FM. One of these days I'll do a radio chat. I think that would be fun. One of these days we'll have to do that. But anyway, I do appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much. News and Views, Dave Hughes. Craig's going to get on my butt. He's going to say, Dave, damn it, why did you start talking all that radio shit? Nobody wants to hear that. Hey, it's a holiday. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Don't blow your hands off. Don't get injuries with it. Be very careful tonight with your fireworks, okay? Don't get drunk and do crazy stuff and have to go to the ER and lose appendages. You don't want to do that. All right, everybody? Thank you so much, Long Duck Dong. I have trouble sometimes with holidays too. I almost kind of just wish they were just regular days, but hey, what the heck? I've already blown up my stuff up. You've already done your fireworks. All right, thanks, Coach 9500, Roland, Michael, James, everybody here. Stingray, it's nice to see you again. Yes, we gotta do some hiking together. I gotta get down to Richmond one of these days, and it's when the weather gets past 99 degrees, gets cooler, and we'll do some hiking. I really want to do that. Some of those parks down there really